So I decided to take a walk through the Plaza Park today, and inside Plaza Park is a Black Lives Matter rally. I'm going to turn the camera around. Wouldn't necessarily have a problem with people wanting to fight for a cause, but these latest protests have been turning out to be very destructive, and they've been having a lot of agitators, and it's just really interesting that this is a Black Lives Matter rally. With very few black lives. And like I said, I'm not against anybody fighting for good and right. Especially since this is being done very peaceful. But unfortunately of late, most of these rallies have been turning into melees of ridiculousness. Right now it's peaceful. Hopefully it stays that way. Because I've seen very many videos of people damaging buildings and stuff, and it has absolutely nothing to do with anything. This seems to be constructive. I'm inside Plaza Park. But will it stay that way? That's the question. Taking my walk inside Plaza Park. Hey, Mommy. Hey, Shanika. On the plain walls, they get drawings of heads and the beats. Interview happening. Hey, Jane. Very interesting. And no, I'm not a part of this rally. I just happen to be walking through Plaza Park as they're walking through Plaza Park. And I thought it was extremely interesting to see a Black Lives rally with very few black lives involved. There are some, of course. And they're going off that way, which I am not going. I'm not being a part of any rallies. We've been marching from my grandparents' days till now my children. And I see absolutely nothing positive coming from marching. That's my personal experience with it and my personal opinion. Yours may differ from mine. But I think that our energy and time can be better served doing other things. If you want to really make a difference, to me, you have to hit the system in a matter that it's a big rally over there. Wow. Grand Army Plaza is where I'm at. Big rally over there. To me, I think you need to hit the system where it'll hurt the system the most, and it'll only hurt the system if you hit them in the pockets. marching allows people to get their anger and their frustration out, but if it's not done in a constructive way, all it does is make us look better, especially if it's a Black Lives Matter with very few Black lives, and then it turns violent. So it looks calm now, but as we know, the marches have been turning very violent, and it has not necessarily been Black people doing the violence. It's been white agitators. Not only, but it has been a lot of white agitators. And then once one person gets started, mob rule picks in, and then everybody's just acting ridiculous. So right now it's calm, but who knows if it's going to stay that way. I think our time is better served hitting the system in the pockets where the work hurt the most. Find a way to financially boycott certain things for supporting police brutality and for being complicit with police brutality, because if you're complicit with it, it's just as bad as the person who's doing it. It puts our lives at risk. It puts police lives at risk who are trying to do the right thing. It puts everybody's lives at risk. Because then you have an angry mob of people who want to protest, and then you have angry police who supposed to protect, who are now in a position of being afraid. More afraid than what they already are. Even though they have no reason to be afraid because they actually have the guns and we don't. But yeah, Black Lives Rally, and I see mostly white lives. Interesting. Very interesting. Not making a judgment as to whether it's wrong or right. I just think it's interesting. And time will tell whether or not this continues to remain constructive or if it gets ridiculous like many of the other protests had gotten. Yes, that's what I was thinking too. Some of them could be agitators. Some of them I'm sure aren't, because there's never 100% of any one thing. But if someone's trying to be an agitator, this is the rally that they're going to show up at to, do things that are unproductive. And it's not going to never make Black people look bad. I mean, white people look bad. It's going to make Black community look bad. That's just the way the news media likes to spin things. So, while I thought it was interesting enough to film, I will not be over there joining in. I will continue on my lovely little walk in Prospect Park, meditating and thinking about ways that I can make my own personal effect or fight against police brutality. But like I said, our grandparents marched, now our children are marching, and nothing has changed. So why are we still marching? I don't think it's worth marching. I think it's a waste of time and energy that needs to be served better in other ways. We've made our, voices heard, and now many of these marches are being taken over by agitators that are not looking to do anything positive for the race relations in the country or how police are handling situations when they come into contact with Black folk, people of African descent, Black people. So yes, that's a big rally happening over there. I'm walking through the park and I just happened to hear all this noise. And I realized they were chanting. I didn't know what they were chanting because I was too far away. When I got closer, I realized they were saying Black Lives Matter, but it was mostly white lives. So I thought that was very interesting. Just wanted to share that with you all. But there are a lot of things that can be done other than marching. I am not against marching, but it's not something that I think is very beneficial. We need to find a way to hit the system in the pockets. Who supplies the cars for the police? What company? Boycott them. What company supplies the gas for the police? Boycott it. What company supplies the uniform, makes and supplies the uniforms and the equipment for the police, the guns and the bullets? Boycott them. Boycott the companies that supply the people. And then work to change the laws so that even when police officers, like what happened just now, are doing the wrong thing and other officers are standing complicit, they're held as equally liable as the person who kills the Black person, who murders people in the streets. You don't hold complicit cops accountable for their actions, but they can hold a complicit mother who allows, say, a boyfriend to abuse their child and she does nothing. You're going to hold her accountable. So if a cop is being complicit, they should be held accountable just as well. But that's the scene right now as I was going through Prospect Park. And I just thought it was really, really interesting. All I heard was all this noise, and then when I could figure out what they were saying, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, all wearing a lot, well, not all, a lot of people wearing black shirts. They all had, a lot of them had signs, and the majority of them are not black. And could be a good thing, could be a horrible thing. But how it's been turning out lately, it's been turning into mayhem and melee and destruction of property, and then making the whole Black Lives Matter campaign look like a fiasco of looters and thugs. And that's not what it is. And it's almost as if, you know, the whole idea is being hijacked. Want a reason to struggle, and they just don't have a reason to struggle. And there are a lot of more constructive ways to help another group that is being persecuted against, and you're not part of that group. There are a lot of ways to help. But creating mayhem, that doesn't help. So right now, this march looks very peaceful. But hopefully it stays that way. Time will tell. We'll hear about this in the news tonight. Anyway, I say hit them in the pockets. You do the research. You find out who funds the police. Somebody funds them. Boycott those companies. The same way we boycotted during apartheid, the companies that funded apartheid and that regime. This is an apartheid system right here in the United States. You find the people who are behind the funding of the cars, the funding, the car company, the gas company, the people who supplies the uniforms. You dig into it and you find the money behind it and you boycott. And I think hitting people in the pockets are a better way of your time and energy than this. It's supposed to be a one-day boycott, and I got a rebuttal to that in the mail, on my timeline from someone that was saying that doesn't make sense, and it was right. To me, it doesn't make sense. One day is nothing after the holidays. You can start boycotting from now through the holidays and let it really be known. Back in the days where we were, protesting in the 60s, they boycott for a whole year until things changed. But do we have the level of resilience and the level of sacrifice and the level of camaraderie and working together to do that today? I don't know. I don't know if that will happen, but it needs to happen. We need to stick together. We need to do something a lot more than constructive than just holding a sign up and yelling and letting out your frustration. And then getting all sorts of other people to do the same thing. Because if they want to help, there are more constructive ways to help. There are more constructive ways for us to fight against police brutality. There's more constructive ways to get other groups to fight for our cause against police brutality than just marching. I don't agree with it because I don't think it's effective. If it was effective, then yeah. But peaceful marching, it's not helpful. It doesn't do anything. It solves no problems. It just allows people to get their frustrations out. And that's it. And then you have agitators that come in and take advantage and hijack the whole thing, and then it's a whole melee. But anyway, that's a Black Lives Matter with very few black lives over there that I saw marching. So I thought that was very interesting. I want to bring this on live just so people can see what's happening. But people, if you want to make real sound effect, figure out a way to hit them in the pockets. And boycott those companies that supply police uniforms. Boycott the companies that supply the cars that the police drive in. Boycott the companies that supply all of the uniforms and the tasers and the guns and the nightsticks and all that other stuff. We can do the research and we can find out and we can boycott. And don't make it a one-day boycott like they're saying. No, make it a boycott throughout the whole of especially since 4th of July is a big money weekend. Start the boycott now. Start it before the 4th of July. Let it go past the 4th of July and let the economic impact be felt. Yeah, and we need to support our own businesses. Exactly. Exactly. We have a lot of people who do a lot of things and who supply a lot that we need. Oh, I hate to get little children in a video, but I'm sorry, I kind of hard not to when they're just running around and you're videotaping. But everything looks calm now. I'm just hoping it stays calm. Excuse me. I will not be going that way. I'll be continuing on with my peaceful walk. And I will see y'all on the other side. But we can take this time to meditate and think of constructive ways that we can fight police brutality that is going to be useful and that is going to be beneficial. See y'all on the other side, guys.